Hello, and welcome to the Quick Flick Critic Reviews and Interviews. I'm your host, John SMISTAD, and these are my takes on films both new and not so, spanning a wide range of genres and tastes, plus conversations with some of the coolest people in indie entertainment. Now, let us rock with this one, shall we? Welcome, first of all, to this edition of the Quick Flick Critic Reviews and Interviews. I am really invested I'm invested in all the movies I talk about, but this one I really am, and we're going to get to that. But we are going to talk today with film director and writer Daniel Masciari. His film is Stationed at Home, delves into the human condition, our place in the world and in the cosmos, and also the United States Space Program, NASA, and it focuses around in a very, very significant way the International Space Station mission of the late 1990s. Daniel, welcome to the Quick Flick Critic Reviews and Interviews. It is a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be here, John. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to have you start off talking about it, and you'll touch on the space element and the NASA element. I'm the son of a retired NASA engineer who helped put Americans on the moon. Daniel and I were talking about beforehand. So that was an especially compelling element of his film. But Daniel, why don't you give us an idea about what Stationed at Home is about? You wrote the story, and what inspired you to create this story and then present it to us in the way that you did?
Yeah, what inspired me? I'd love to go back to the moment I got the idea for the film. I was actually I was living in Brooklyn, New York, and I was on a bus from New York to Ithaca visiting my friend, and we stopped in Binghamton, New York, and I was listening to the song Dusk by Duke Ellington. Yeah. And there was just something about the cold weather. It was winter, and I stepped out of the bus and saw this abandoned train station, and it was super quiet, super empty, and all these beautiful old buildings. It was very vast, but quiet and lonely. And there was something about that music along with that visual, just it struck my core. I'm like, who's here? And then I imagined Eric Bjarnar, one of my dear friends who I've made short films with, playing a cab driver, and he actually used to drive cab. And I imagined him waiting for the first pass of the International Space Station. He has this love of space, and just seeing him as this figure in the film, alone driving cab, who's he gonna pick up? And that mood of the city of Binghamton, along with this idea of space and like loneliness and melancholy, just something about all that came together. And that was the initial idea. And then from there, I wrote the film, and was just working on it for it took about 6 years to make.
Tell us about the story. Obviously, we don't want to give away key plot points and be that specific, but
sure.
But yeah, what can people expect from the movie?
I guess like boilerplate, it's about a cab driver waiting to see the first pass of the International Space Station in 1998. He shares a love of space with his late mother, and he meets all these wacky strangers who take him on an adventure throughout the city of Binghamton over one night on Christmas Eve in 1998. And it's definitely a film. I liken it to sort of finding the meaning of home in the cosmos. You know, characters who you might overlook in everyday life, getting to know one another as strangers, but at the same time, finding their place in the world. So to me, it's a very gentle film. It's a film about strangers, and that's a hell of a description. I think you nailed it, and I think that's compelling to the point where people are going to say, I didn't even see what this is about. You presented the movie, I think intentionally, at least came across that way to me, where it puts one in the mind of a couple of classic films. You shot it in black and white, first of all, which I think was popped out at you in terms of accentuating your story. In my mind, I thought, wow, okay, and this will make sense when you watch the movie. It's a Wonderful Life, and then Plan 9 from Outer Space. And we need to say that in the background throughout the film, an actual 1964 film, Santa Claus Saves the Martians, right? Santa Claus
from
Conquers
1964. Yeah. Was that by intent that you mixed all that together and presented the movie in the fashion that you did to us?
Yeah, I think, one idea we wanted to play on throughout the whole making of the film was nostalgia. And essentially, going back to the black and white, I always envisioned this as black and white while I was writing the film and as we were shooting it and as we were scouting it even. There's something about the city of Binghamton and its textures that are incredibly rich. Color just wouldn't work. I mean, a lot of people ask like, why black and white? I always say, well, why color? It's like there's something, it takes away a level of information and you can really focus on subtlety and texture. And to me, it allows the audience to, kind of go into a different register where they're able to dream a bit. And Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, there's something about that film and how sort of funny it is, but at the same time, like, I don't think many people have seen it, generally. So it didn't overwhelm while we were editing it, and it didn't overwhelm the film. It didn't draw too much attention.
Again, the movie is stationed at home, and that's the film we've been talking about. The director and the writer is Daniel Masciari. That's who I've been talking with. Daniel, when does the movie release widely? How can people watch it?
Yeah, so we have a couple more festivals coming up. It's actually playing in Canada in the Arctic at Yellowknife International Film Festival, which I wish I could go, but it's a little too far. Yeah. So we're almost done with our festival circuit. We're going to be out around North America on all digital platforms, cable, satellite, DVD even, on November 11th.
Daniel Masciari, his film, which he directed and wrote the story for, is Stationed at Home. It is a singular production, and when you watch Stationed at Home, you will understand, there may be elements of films you've seen before. Again, I mentioned It's a Wonderful Life and In Planet Time from Outer Space. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, right? But it's it's its own baby. This is a very thoughtful work.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
You bet. Again, Daniel Masciari, he is the director and writer of the new film, Stationed at Home. Daniel, thanks a lot. Again, it's been a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Quick Flick Critic, reviews and interviews. Now I ask that you please subscribe and be notified of my continuous new episode announcements. As always, make it a great day and make it count. Goodbye, everybody.
Aww.